So for Unit 1, we'll be going over cultural sensitivity, race, and implicit bias. The link to this presentation is on Canvas if you ever need to access it outside of the lecture. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first topic that we're going to talk about is race. It's defined as a category of humankind that shares certain distinctive traits, and it's usually associated with biology and often linked with characteristics such as skin color, hair texture, and facial structure as well. The main purpose behind race is to characterize populations of people. So now we're going to go into the main categories or the main topics of race. So we have Caucasian, Hispanic, Asian, African American, and Native American as well. Of course, this is not the end-all be-all list. As we all know, there are other races as well that are not on the list. So now going into our differences activity. So if you go to your interactive notebook, click on the Page 2 tab, and you're going to create a table that has 5 columns and 2 rows. So remember, our columns are the up and down, our rows are side to side. You're going to title each column a primary race. And then once you have your columns titled, you're going to go to your rows and name them continent origin, skin color, and what each culture is known for. And then without doing any type of research, you're going to fill the chart in based off what you know and think. At the end, there will be one row that is blank. We'll go to that in a second. All right, so here's an example of what your chart should look like. As you can see, we have our columns with our primary categories of race, and then we have our rows here with continent origin, skin color, and what is this race known for. And then as you can see, we have our last row blank, so we're going to keep it blank and we'll go back to it a little bit further in the lesson. All right, so now going back out, we're going to talk about ethnicity. So ethnicity is defined as groups of people who identify with each other based on common language, history, social norms, and culture. So now we're going to go to our activity called A Day in the Life of. On page 3 of your interactive notebook, so you're going to click on the page 3 tab, you're going to type 3 to 5 sentences on what you think the day in the life of a particular race would be. You can choose any race from the primary list, and you can write your 3 to 5 sentences on what you think the day in the life of what a person of their race would be like. I want you to make sure that you're brutally honest in this activity because it's going to lead us into our next topic. So now our reflection piece. So now you're going to take a look around the room. I want you to think about the things you wrote and reflect on what you value about each race from your chart. Then you're going to go back to the chart on page 2, and in the blank row, you're going to write what you value about each race. So this is a chart that we just did a few moments ago, and this is the blank row on that chart. So that concludes the lecture on race and ethnicity. I will upload another video that goes into further detail on cultural sensitivity, implicit bias, and fixing the issue. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out and let me know. Do not hesitate to ask questions.